Sometimes in life, we just need to take a step back. Just take a step back and just look at what God is doing in our lives and what is happening around us. Sometimes we just need to step back and just evaluate everything that's happening. In the book of Esther, God is not mentioned at all through the book, which is kind of weird because the Bible is mainly based on God and his name and everything, but not once in this book is he mentioned. I dare you, look it up for yourself. Try to find God in this book and you're not going to find it. But the interesting about this book is that it invites you to see God's activity throughout this book. And it makes you want to search on where exactly did God put this place or put this thing or made this happen or show this person what to say in this book to make his will be done. In the book of Esther, it opens up to this king having a banquet of 187 days. And in this banquet, there is a feast, there's drinks, there's partying, there's dancing, there's all these things. And then the king one day got drunk, and he got really drunk. And while he got drunk, he demanded his wife, the queen at that time, to come and dance in front of everybody so she could show her beauty to everybody. He basically wanted to just show her off. And the queen at that time did not feel like she wanted to do that, so she refused. And this made the king so angry. This made him furious. And what he did next was he banished the queen from the Persian kingdom or from the Persian empire. And this opened up a door for a new queen to step in. So what did the king do? He made this decree and basically having a beauty pageant to find the next queen. And this is where Esther is introduced. Esther comes into this beauty pageant with a lot of odds against her. Like really a lot of odds against her, but she caught the king's eye. She caught the king's eye and the king fell in love with her. I mean, deeply in love with her the moment he saw her. And as the king fell in love with her, and then they had another party because they're celebrating, the new queen, which is Esther. Mordecai comes into the story. Mordecai is Esther's uncle. Coincidence, right? But let me tell you what happened. Mordecai overhears two royal guards plotting the assassination of the king. So what does Mordecai do? Mordecai runs to Esther, tells Esther, hey, this is what's happening. They're trying to kill the king. And of course, Esther comes to the king and tells him, hey, somebody's trying to kill you, these two royal guards, and gives credit to Mordecai. Mordecai becomes a top servant in the kingdom because he saved the king's life. Now, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back and look at this story in the bigger picture. Out of all the women in that city, in that empire, she got picked to be the next queen. I'm gonna just kind of give you a summary of how big that empire really was. So let's just use Texas. Texas is the third biggest state in the United States. In Texas, there's 29 million people. And out of those 29 million people, 10.5 million people are women from the ages of 18 till older age. Now, you are getting picked out of 10.5 million people to be the next queen. And I could assure you there was people probably prettier than her, more talented than her, but Esther got picked. Out of all those people, that cannot be a coincidence. And not only that, Mordecai just happened to be at the perfect spot at the perfect time to hear this plan to be revealed. And then he goes to the queen to tell the king and save his life. All maybe in the same month. But I have a challenge for you. I want you to try to find God's involvement throughout these two chapters. And I want you to write in the comment below, where exactly do you think God's involvement is in these two chapters?